Jason, when it was time for you to call it quits, what's the number one thing in your mind you knew you were going to miss about the game?
I knew I was going to miss competing. You see, is Ellie in the background?
This is so funny.
Can you go upstairs, girl? No? Why not?
Is that the oldest one?
This is my second. You say hi. You say hi to the greatest receiver ever to play football. Say hi to Randy Moss. Are you guys going to pick up Wyatt right now? All right.
Hi, Randy Moss. So epic.
Hello, sweetheart. How are you?
All right.
Oh, that was gold, man.
Bye.
Man.
Love you, Uncle Travis.
Okay, baby.
Nice.
Welcome back to New Heights, a Wondery show brought to you by Expedia, the one place you go to go places. You can go anywhere, and it helps you figure out everything else to do while you're on the go. And it's where you go to do that. We are your hosts. I'm Travis Kelce, my big brother Jason Kelce out of Cleveland Heights, Ohio, representing the U.S. of A. Again, subscribe on YouTube, Wondery Plus, wherever you get your podcasts. Follow the show on all social media at New Heights Show with one S. We got a bunch of fun clips throughout the week, and that's where I like to watch the show, is the fun clips. So make sure you follow us on all social media. And Jason is now going to tell the people that are listening to this show what we have coming up.
Howdy, 92%ers. We got another amazing episode for you guys. Responding to some of your fan mentions, and we're also going to build an NFL roster entirely out of dogs.
Ooh.
Oh, Randy Moss is here. That's right, baby.
Oh, you got Moss.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, straight cash, homie.
Before we get into that, let's get into a little bit of that new news.
Yeah, new news.
New news. We are pre-taping this one. I'm sorry, no real new news. Currently, we're on location grabbing some incredible guest conversation. Not saying who it is, but we might be one of the GOATs of a sport that you love.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, I guess that's the new news.
Yeah. All right. Nice. Let's keep this thing moving into Fan Mentions. Fan Mentions is brought to you by one of our favorite drinks of all time. I think Ed Kelce might be one of the top buyers of this drink, at least the diet version. It's brought to you by Pepsi. Shout out to Pepsi. All right. Here, NFL put out the NFL Combine then and nows. How about that? Look at these pictures. Golly, I was so fat.
You were fat? You're not fat in this photo. It's not the best photo, but
yeah, the old straight on where you could see the double chin.
How much did you weigh in that photo?
That was a good 268, I think. I'm not sure. What was my combine height and weight? I was 6'3", 7/8", and I think I was like 258 or something like that.
You're 6'4" and 7/8".
Yeah, 6'4", 7/8". Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way.
Just under 6'5".
Yeah.
Oh, man. Did you scroll down and look further?
Jesus, Jason, you forget the trimmer?
God.
Why do you look so different? Why is your nose so fucking thin?
Crooked? Dude, I look horrendous.
Why do you look like this?
I don't know. I look like I'm going to get stopped at TSA.
If you showed me that picture back in the day, I'd be like, that's not my brother.
That guy's getting strip searched for sure.
It's like the NFL purposely tries to get the most unflattering pictures of rookies.
I don't know that it would have mattered what angle they got of me. I think I was just an ugly son of a bitch.
You really grew into being a nice, handsome boy. So
That's
handsome.
right.
Look at you on the right there. You're all golden. Get some sun.
yeah.
You've been at the shore.
Yes.
Yes.
Those pictures are always taken in the heat of summer. That first one on the left is February. That is a big difference.
February in Cincinnati, training for the job of your life.
Did you see the other guys they put out?
No.
I'll run through them real quick. Hold on.
Who else we got? Ooh, Josh Allen.
Jay Allen don't look too bad. Smooth cat right there.
No, looks more artistic now. Derrick
Similar,
Henry, exactly the
similar,
same. Don't see any difference at all.
Young King Henry.
Jetta.
Young Jetta.
A-Raj, not much difference.
Yeah,
Kind of has a Lloyd Christmas. Go back. Got the Lloyd Christmas going on there.
Yeah, the straight across.
It kind of looks similar. All right. What do we got next?
This guy will never age. He'll look like this until he's fucking 90 years old.
I think you're right. Burrow.
I feel like Joey Burrow, just again, another guy who probably trained up north, didn't get a lot of sun. Second one, a little bit more sun. CMC, another guy's going to look the exact same until he's fucking 90 years old.
Kind of look like a military cadet.
Oh, Patty Mahomes. Still looks the same. Still looks the same.
Not a big difference.
Looks like he's got a $1 billion smile though. He's
much happier.
Much happier man in Adidas gear now than he was in Under Armour back then.
Bake
still, Bake looks pretty similar. A little heftier of a beard. Yeah. Oh, that boy.
Whoa.
George has just been growing his hair ever since. He just hasn't stopped growing his hair. G Kittle, man. What a dude. Fucking love that guy. Oh, shit. Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good. Nice. Glad we look different.
There's one thing for sure is that at the combine, they take the most unflattering angle and lighting picture they possibly can.
Yeah, especially
really boost that morale.
For us pale, white in the winter kind of guys. Yeah.
Yes. Let's move on to everyone loving Jason's content creator.
Oh, yeah. You are. I'm telling you, you're fucking crushing it with the content right now.
Yeah?
Yeah. Click this link real quick, Brandon.
I think Jason Kelce is quickly becoming one of my favorite follows on TikTok because everything he posts, it just kind of feels like either a grandpa decided to record a video and maybe did it on accident and then posted it, or a toddler took his mom's phone and is running around filming everything and just posting it without editing it. Like his last video I saw was him just like taking the subway. That's it.
It's like those progressive commercials where it's like you're slowly turning into your parents and they're trying not to let you do it.
I mean, I feel like a grandpa using TikTok. I really do not get it one bit.
You got to be a special, like, to be really like good at it, you got to be a special version of person, I think. And you're a very special version of somebody. You're authentic, and that's what people fucking love the most about you in terms of the content you create. I'm not gonna lie. I'm right there with them, dude. I fucking die laughing at everything you do, whether it's riding the subway or creating a garage beer commercial about beer powder. It's fucking gold, man.
The subway was fun. It was a great subway. I thought it was a fun video. I don't know.
And it was fun. And you knew exactly what you were doing. You knew what the people wanted out of you.
Kylie was like, will you fucking stop? Like, if you have any idea how long it took me to make that dumbass video.
That's the one thing I'll always feel so fucking dumb, man. There was a point early on in my career when like the reels and everything really started getting going, and I would make them, and then I wouldn't make them, and then I would just do one because I felt like I had to keep it going. And then it was just, there was so many like stories that I just felt were so pointless, and some of the shit I was doing was so pointless. I just felt dumb doing it. And you're clearly having a blast with it. It's the best, dude. Not feeling dumb is like one of your superpowers.
Oh no. I mean, I feel dumb all the time. I feel dumb wearing this hat right now.
It looks great.
Just embraced it.
From our New Heights Reddit page, our fantasy forfeit this year. All right, recreating the GQ shoot for a calendar. This is fucking hilarious.
Nice. I mean, that's fucking pretty damn good.
I mean, you just got it fucking down pat.
Yeah, man. He's got the head tilt, all of it.
He's got the chest hair. He's got the gut. He's got the sloppy tits. He's fucking great, dude.
Very nice. Very nicely done. No AI allowed. Love that. We're based in Glasgow, Scotland.
Oh, Scotland. Nice.
Nice.
Dude, to try and find somewhere in Scotland that resembled that
like
exact shot. Yeah, exactly. That's pretty good right there.
Well done. Very well done. Alrighty. And, yeah, I got a shout out from The Simpsons. How about this, Trav? Did you see this?
No, I did not. Can you please?
I mean, I didn't get a shout out. They just like mentioned my existence, which
that's a shout out in my book. That's a shout out in my book. We fucking grew up in the heart of The Simpsons, man. Not that it's not still the heart of The Simpsons because they're still rolling, but
awesome things for me to do in Philadelphia. Eat cheesesteaks, hoagies, pretzels, water ice, rip off a piece of Jason Kelce's beard.
Ah, nice, dude. You're just going to have random people coming up to you trying to fucking yank your beard off?
If it's Marge or anybody with The Simpsons, or I'm in.
That's pretty good right there.
All right, that does it for Fan Mentions, brought to you by Pepsi.
All right, let's get into this Randy Moss interview, baby. Straight cash, homie.
I've never been more excited. Here we go. Our guest today is 6'4" wide receiver from Rand, West Virginia. He's a 4-time All-Pro, 6-time Pro Bowler, the 1998 Offensive Rookie of the Year, and the 2007 Comeback Player of the Year. He holds the record for the most receiving touchdowns in a single season. He's second all-time in career touchdowns, fourth all-time in career receiving yards, and he is a member of the 2018 class of the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Just a legend.
We didn't pay him to come on our show, but if we did, we'd be using straight cash, homie. That's right.
Straight cash, homie. Let's go.
92%ers, please welcome Randy Moss.
Let's go.
Hey, what's up, fellas?
That was
Thanks
good.
for having me, man. You crazy, dude. You got me ready to play again.
Hey, that's all I'm trying to do. Get them juices
We
ready.
know you could go out there and break somebody off, man. You already know. Just throw it up, baby. Just throw it up.
Thanks for having me on, guys, man. I know y'all got the #1 podcast out there, and I really don't do many podcasts, right? But but y'all two, the brothers, the realness of what y'all done put on the field and off the field, I gotta come and show y'all some love, man. So thanks for having me on.
That's why you're the realest, big guy. We can't thank you enough. You already know you're an absolute legend in the NFL, and even more so just being you. Everybody has seen the personality kind of come out since the NFL. And it's so cool to have you on this show with us, man, because you guys, the legends that we grew up watching and everything, getting you guys on this show is like taking me back to my childhood, and like I'm living out a dream I didn't even know was possible, man. So I appreciate you joining us today, brother.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's the personality off the field, like the entire essence of Randy Moss. I mean, you are the greatest highlight player in the history of the NFL. Like, is there anybody else that has better highlights than Randy Moss? There's an entire catch anytime somebody goes up and gets it.
You got Moss.
If you're talking about my position, no. But if you're talking about players that ever played the game, I mean, I think Barry Sanders was a human highlight reel. But you're talking about my position. No, but at the same time, guys, just being able to stay grounded, keep myself grounded, and it's really about the work you put in, and a lot of people, don't really understand my background in the sport of basketball, and
okay,
and the thing that I've always tried to tell people, Jason, was that, and Trav, I've seen it in your game, in the field of play, where you have 50, 60, 70 yards to go before you score. That's when I use my quickness, my elusiveness and my speed. But once you get down to the red zone, it's all about boxing out, body placement, going up and get the rebound. So that's where I put the game of basketball into my game. And that's why I say if you put in the hard work, then hard work pays off. So like I say, the plays that I make, hey, I put the work in to be able to make those plays.
We can't talk hoops without talking about your West Virginia days in high school, rocking with Jason Williams, man.
Yeah.
Legendary duo. Growing up, did you guys both know that you guys had like something special, that both of you were going to go pro in your respective sports?
Me and Jason, like a quick short story. Jason, while we were in elementary school, we played, I think, 2 years of Pop Warner against one another. And Jason was a phenomenal football player, phenomenal athlete. And every sport that I played, Jason played, or every sport he played, I played. The only sport Jason really didn't play or do was track. As far as baseball, basketball, and football, he excelled at all three of the sports just like I did. And you're talking about honorable mentions, all conference, and things like that. Jason was that type of athlete, but I think he got kind of discouraged my sophomore year, his junior year, where the quarterback was already sort of in place, so he could really focus on basketball. So that was like Jason's last year of playing football was his 11th grade year or his 10th grade year. So we played AAU basketball. We traveled the country with one another. But I think the craziest moment for me was just playing against a lot of these former NBA players that we played against in middle school and in high school. And then, of course, that I branched off and made it to the NFL. But just seeing some of the guys that we played against in AAU excel on a professional level. So that was kind of like some crazy, surreal moments at the same time.
That's so dope, man. It's awesome. It's awesome you were talking about the crossover. Guys like Devontae Adams talks about how in his routes he's thinking as if he's like
on the court,
a ball handler on the court.
Right.
And his quickness and how he switches up his tempo to make it seem more effective and more fluent. And it's awesome to hear you say that, because I think a lot of guys get caught up in high school and and even younger parents are trying to get them to just focus on one sport. But
they specialize too early.
Me and Jason are huge big advocates on making sure you get out there, play all the sports, get an understanding of the hand-eye and all these different sports, and not focus on them until after middle school or high school, or whichever one you choose to prolong in college.
There's carryover for sure. You learn from one sport, you can take it and you can apply it to another one. Like, I feel like I'm a better O-lineman because I did 2 years of wrestling in middle school.
Right.
Now, I don't know if that's real or not, but you learn about leverage when you wrestle.
No doubt.
Randy, he was the one you didn't want to fucking see out there, man.
I can only imagine.
This guy had pimples all over his face. As soon as you start wrestling with him, the pimples are popping and like the blood or pus is coming down his face. Like,
fucking guy.
Oh, man, where's the love of that?
He's sweating his ass off. He's the sweaty, just mess, and he's just
purposely not wearing deodorant. I'm going to make you feel me. I'm going to make you
he's a nasty son of a buck, man.
Athletes should leave their options open, because like you said, Jason, that you say that your position at center where leverage is very important. It's like you really can hang your hat on, man, if I wouldn't have done wrestling, then my game would have been what as a professional. So, I mean, like you said, you've been able to take another sport and then put it into your professional sport. Hey, man, that says a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it works for all of them. Like, I mean, basketball definitely feels like the most applicable, especially if you got ball skills, complete athleticism. Most of the best receivers, tight ends, I feel like a lot of those guys were hoopers growing up. It just feels like there's a big carryover. But I do want to go back a little bit to those days with Jason Williams. What is it about guys from West Virginia? I golfed with this dude and had the most fun outing of my life at the Jerome Bettis Golf Outing this past year. It feels like you're the same way. It feels like Nick Saban, even hearing him talk, like there's a authenticity and a realness that I don't even know how to describe it, but it feels like I love everybody that I meet from West Virginia, and I don't exactly know why. What is it about West Virginia that it feels like guys that come out of it, like they're not trying to be anything. They're very grounded in who they are. They're proud of who they are, and they don't take shit from nobody. That's pretty much the vibe I get from everybody I'm ever with.
That is us. But to answer your question, I just think that if you come from humble beginnings, I think that really what keeps a person grounded. And I think that everyone that I've seen from West Virginia, all the celebrities, just being humbled and keep it grounded, because one of the biggest things that I said in my Hall of Fame speech back in 2018, just growing up and nobody caring about who I was or who we were. I grew up in an unincorporated community, and still to this day, my community is still unincorporated. So I just think that, being able to grow up in some real, type of surroundings and understanding what's real in life. You learn that at a very young age coming out of the state of West Virginia, and not just where I'm from in the county. I just think as the whole state as a whole, and what you see is what you get. So I know there's a lot of people, struggling back at home, and, that's one of the things that really kept me grounded, guys, of, going back and doing charity events and going back home. I even took my Hall of Fame jacket. Back home. And the reason why, because I wanted to give the kids something real to see, something real to touch. And it's like back where you guys are from, it's like when you see the Kelce brothers, on television playing, winning Super Bowls, now you're seeing them, endorsing themselves. It's kind of like when you go back home and seeing people that you grew up with or their children and things like that. So I just want to be able to give hope to people, that grew up like I did. So I just think that, it just answers your question about people being from West Virginia. I know what it's like. When it comes to hard times, and that's something that I never forget. And I try to relay that message, throughout my whole life.
I love that, Randy. That is so good.
We got to get into a little bit of a story that Julian Edelman told us.
All right.
our guy, friend of the show. You played with him as a rookie. I couldn't imagine having a better vet than the Randy Moss in the building. And he said you nicknamed him Edelnut?
Edelnut. That's Edelnut. Well, he came in.
Where'd that come from?
I don't know where Edelnut, Edelman. I know it just sounds crazy, but all the comedy and jokesters in the locker room. You just try to find humor day to day just to get your day by. He tells a story about me being on the phone with, he calls it Mama Moss, and just briefly, I grew up of course, in Rand, West Virginia. And, my mom, we grew up in the church and, I grew up a drummer. And so
Okay.
when it comes to, profanity and things like that, my mom being the Christian she is, she doesn't want any swearing going on nowhere around her. So at that time, I'm in the locker room and Julian's behind me cussing. I forgot who he was talking to, but he was being loud. But he seen me on my phone and I was smiling and I was basically telling him to, be quiet, to hold on. And I'm on the phone. And then he was like, oh, what? I'm a man. I said, so it was like one of those crazy moments that I would hear later from my mom. Randy, who was that in the background swearing? I was like, oh my God. So that was like one of those crazy moments that I had to hear from my mama later on in life, who was in the background swearing. So that's where that moment came from. But it was actually a crazy moment at that time.
That's awesome.
When you saw Julian come in, because he was a quarterback at Kent State, man, did you see something in him immediately? Like, did he have that it factor when he walked in the building?
The thing about New England and how they were running their offense before I became a Patriot, you look at all those small, shifty receivers. You have the small, shifty, you have the small, shifty running backs. They had a guy like Kevin Falk, and then they brought in later Sweet Feet White and those other guys. But then, just looking at the past before I became a Patriot, they had a guy by the name of Troy Brown. Went to Marshall. I studied his game. I was a
two-way player.
I was a big fan of his, and I was just looking at Troy. I think Troy was coming off a knee surgery. So we bring in myself, we bring in Welker and Edelman at the same time. So they're trying to figure out, where they can put Julian Edelman coming out of Kent State as a quarterback. So all the gadget plays they knew they had in Julian. But I just think being a Swiss Army knife of getting in and out of cuts, he had to learn that. And I didn't have a problem throughout a 14-year career teaching a guy the game. I think it's the more you know, the better it helps you as a team.
Oh, yeah.
And so I really didn't have a problem with Edelman or anybody teaching them the game. And I think that I just saw his speed, his swiftiness, but at the same time, you guys know as a young rookie, his willingness to want to learn the game. So that's really what took me over the top with him. And then he tells a story about me giving him money to feed the guys. And your late draft pick, some guys may be a undrafted, free agent, but they still got to chip in to feed the veterans. So I just thought at that time, and I don't know how much he was making, but that's always been my heart, just for the guys. And you know how the vets get. You know how we get.
The vets will be ruthless.
Especially y'all, the old linemen. The donuts, the food, whatever's not there, you guys will go crazy. So that's what I was thinking about.
That's right. Well, that's awesome, man. All right, let's flash it back a little bit to West Virginia again. All right. So you're 1994 West Virginia Player of the Year in football. Also won the West Virginia Player of the Year in basketball twice. Ooh. You said you were more of a hooper. At what point did it transition? Did you know football was the future?
The summer of '94, Nike used to run a camp where they invite the best players around the country to a remote location and just ball for the weekend. Yeah. Well, Jason was, he's a year older than me, and I always played a year up. Most guys do when it comes to like AU and things like that. So, So the following year, I went to the Nike camp. I got the invite. Me and another guy by the name of Gene Neighbors ended up going to LSU playing point guard for them. And speaking of Gene was the only guy that I ever seen give Jason fits as a point guard. They used to go at it. And if you ever ask Jason, say, Jason, did you and Gene Neighbors used to go at it? Yeah, they used to go at it. So I go to Nike camp and I'm sitting up there not really feeling good about it because I'm seeing, Kevin Garnett. I'm just seeing guys, 6'7", 6'11", 7-footers. And so I'm sitting up here asking myself, can I compete? Do I belong here? So at the time, we were sitting here talking about, keeping your options open of playing all the sports you can actually play. Well, I was a seasonal athlete, just like maybe you guys were. Whatever season it was, that's what sport I played.
Yes.
Those guys like Kevin Garnett, there was a guy by the name of Ron Mercer out in Tennessee, ended up playing for the Chicago Bulls. All those guys were all year-round gym rats. So that year, we ended up playing the team out of California that had the number one ranked underclassman by the name of Shea Cotton. You don't believe me?
Okay.
You can Google it. There's only been
Shea Cotton.
Shea Cotton. There's only been 3 phenoms in the history that I've been living. Moses Malone, Shea Cotton, LeBron James. Them the only 3 phenoms that I've ever, heard about. I've seen 2 of them. I didn't see Moses back when he was in high school, but I seen LeBron and I seen Shea, and he was a phenom. But anyways, we play them. He's a left-hander. Well, he embarrasses me. I come back. Yeah, I mean, he totally embarrassed me. This guy is an underclassman, but he's the number 1 rated player in the country. But like I say, Kevin Garnett was the number 1 rated player because he was a senior that year. Shea was, I think Shea was maybe a sophomore that year, but he's the number 1 player. Anyways, I get embarrassed. So then I'm already feeling a certain type of way. Well, we get a rain delay. I'm on a court. Kevin Garnett's out there playing. So me and him somehow get into a one-on-one match. I asked Kevin, does he remember this? And he kind of looked at me. I was like, well, Kevin, I got great memory. I remember this story.
I remember like it was yesterday.
using my speed with basketball, guys, I try to get to the rim and try to lay it up as high as I possibly could over the white box. Okay?
Okay. Yeah. Man, you got to be up there.
Kevin Garnett gets up on the basketball, Jason, and pins my ball with the palm of his hand. So I'm already feeling discouraged from Shea Cotton and what he did to me. And now Kevin Garnett did this to me. So then when I go back home, they said, hey, man, you went to Nike Camp. Moss, how did it go? I said, football player. That's what I'm going to be.
I said, man, I'm ready for football.
Yes, I am. And it's really a true story. I'm putting a little bit of humor into it, but at the same time, that was a true story that what happened to me that really changed my mind of playing basketball. And then it's like, dude, I don't even think I can compete with those guys. So let me stick to football.
That is amazing.
That's such a good story. KG ended up going straight to the NBA from there, right?
Well, yeah, from high school, but see, the thing about it was kind of crazy because we had a couple nights out where we seen each other. And of course, we supported one another. We ended up taking the iconic picture together. But like legendary. I said, I just told, just Kevin, just more of the things that when you grow up playing against certain guys, I get fueled. I was fueled in hype, seeing other guys that I played and competed against to make it to the next level. And that's when I started, when I got to college and seeing Kevin on that level. And I was like, hey, man, I could really compete. Yes. And I remember going to Florida State my freshman year, coming out of West Virginia where the talk is, we don't breed athletes. And if you do, they don't compete. So I think that I had a lot of questions about my game at Florida State, but then I left Florida State, went to Marshall, and I had a lot of confidence. And the reason why I had a lot of confidence because a lot of the guys professionally came back to Florida State and trained. Trav, you'll love this one. So during the off season, everybody they're beating on my door. Country boy, come on outside.
Everybody wanted the smoke.
So I'm sitting up here like, what's going on? Hey, man, the pros are out here training. Come and get some. So, I mean, it was guys like Devin Bush, senior. He was still in the National Football League. He went to Florida State. Just a lot of the past guys that made it because Florida State was putting athletes in the league like right and left. So I get out there and those guys are talking, oh, you're the country boy I hear about. Well, anyways, I go out there and embarrass those guys. I handle my business. And then right after that, the spring comes. I have a great spring, and then I go back to West Virginia, serve some jail time, and end up getting, thrown out of Florida State. But anyways, getting back to the story of the confidence factor of being able to have the confidence coming from Florida State, and then from the AAU basketball court to Florida State, seeing guys drafted that I played with at Florida State, seeing guys drafted that I played AAU ball against. You're talking about confidence and not looking back. And then also the trials and tribulations of this, coming from the state of West Virginia. Dude, it was destined for me to really get out there and just grit my teeth and just go get it.
That's awesome, yeah, man.
Heck yeah.
That's such a good story. From one flip side to a Nike invite to realizing that, this might not be the thing. And then on the other flip side, going down to Florida State and realizing like, oh yeah, I got something over here.
Right.
That's a dope dynamic.
I feel the same way because a lot of times people ask, like, when did you know you could go to the NFL? It's like, I kind of started knowing once I saw guys go and I was playing against them. It was the same way in college. Like, I'm like, man, am I good enough to play in college? And then I'm playing against Thaddeus Gibson over at Euclid. And I'm like, I can compete with Thaddeus. And he was committed to Ohio State. So I feel like I'm right there. And then all of a sudden you're in college and you see guys that you're teammates with go, and you're like, okay, I might get a shot at this thing. And what was it like? You just mentioned going from Florida State, going back to West Virginia, Marshall. What was that like?
It was hard for me, guys. And the reason why is because what I struggled with, as far as my upbringing, then got into that high school, fight, getting sentenced to some jail time. And, it's kind of.
The Kelce family just experienced one of their most heartwarming and unexpected moments yet. And it all happened during little Ellie Kelce's 5th birthday celebration. What started as a simple family party suddenly turned into a moment that even Uncle Travis Kelce didn't see coming. As the birthday celebration was winding down, Travis was helping tidy up after the party when Ellie noticed a small gift box that had somehow gone unopened on the table. The card attached instantly caught everyone's attention because the sender was none other than global superstar Taylor Swift. Travis reportedly knew Taylor had been planning something thoughtful for Ellie, but no one in the room expected what was about to happen next. When Ellie carefully opened the gift, she revealed a delicate silver locket engraved with her initial, a sweet keepsake that already had the room smiling. But the real surprise was hidden inside the package. Attached to the necklace was a tiny flash drive, and that's when curiosity took over. Travis quickly plugged it into a laptop, and the entire family gathered around the screen to see what Taylor had prepared. Seconds later, the screen lit up with a personal message and a video recorded by Taylor Swift herself. Sitting in a cozy studio with an acoustic guitar, Taylor had created a completely custom birthday song just for Ellie. She sang directly to the 5-year-old, mentioning Ellie's favorite things, her playful personality, and even little details only close family would know. The room reportedly fell completely silent as Ellie watched the performance, fully mesmerized. Even Travis Kelce, known for his confident NFL composure, couldn't hide how emotional the moment became. For the Kelce family, this wasn't just a celebrity gesture. It was a deeply personal gift that turned an ordinary birthday into a memory they'll never forget. And the surprise didn't stop there. At the end of the video, Taylor made a promise that instantly sent excitement through the entire room. She told Ellie she would take her to one of her concerts in person. That announcement alone turned the birthday celebration into pure chaos of excitement. By the end of the day, Ellie was still holding onto her new locket and singing parts of a special birthday song. What began as a quiet family celebration had suddenly become one of the sweetest Taylor and Kelce family moments fans have heard about yet. And according to those close to the family, moments like this are exactly why the bond between Taylor Swift and the Kelces keeps growing stronger, often in the most unexpected and magical ways.